Okay, so on today's Brain Spotting 101, I'm going to talk a little bit about what a brain spot is. A lot of my clients that I have come in, are ready for change. They're tired of their anxiety, they're tired of their depression, they're tired of the negative core beliefs that are running their life, but they are, struggling with putting what they know to be true into action and really feeling it. We know we should take care of ourselves and set out times for ourselves so that we can recenter, and then we don't do it. And we fill our schedule and we pack our schedule with obligations that we have to do, and we end up kind of running ourselves down. And so a lot of people are like, well, I know I need to do this, but I can't. And so when I introduce brain spotting, it's really about supporting the integration of the whole brain so that it can talk more with each other and so we can be more intentional, mindful, and slow down. And so a part of that is finding a brain spot that holds, whatever you're coming in to see me for. And so what a brain spot actually is a spot in our field of vision that connects directly to the subcortical brain that's holding whatever trauma, adversity, social conditioning is getting in the way of doing the thing, feeling the thing, helping ourselves in whatever way. And so, if we just take the self-care example, what I support people in doing is I want you to think of a time where you had set aside some time to take care of yourself. Maybe it was working out in the morning or taking 5 minutes when you get home to transition home to help you feel a little bit more present and leave work behind. And I want you to think about a time that you had kind of planned on doing that and then you didn't. And what comes up for you when you are feeling that either disappointment or shame or sadness or anger that you didn't follow through with taking care of yourself and you prioritize something else first. So the reason we connect the body in is because the body and the subcortical brain are really tightly linked. The subcortical brain is the lower part of your brain that basically its actions move much faster than the cortical part. And so our thinking brain can be like, yeah, I want to take care of myself. And then all of a sudden, that time that we had planned at 5, at 7, and we have no idea where the last 2 hours went. And that's because our subcortical brain hijacks us because of a lot of different things. What can be common with self-care is you're not worthy of that. You need to put other people first. It's selfish of you to take care of yourself. All of these negative core beliefs and social conditioning that we've learned. And so that hijacks us, sometimes unknowingly, and then we end up putting ourselves on the back burner again. So when we find a brain spot, we're actually looking for the body activation in the subcortical brain that connects to that so we can see what's actually coming up for you in those moments. Because most of the time we don't know. We don't know that we just got hijacked, or if we do, we have no idea what it is. And it's because we're trying to think about it, and our cortical brain, our thinking brain, doesn't actually have access to that information. And so when we find a brain spot, what it actually is in your field of vision, we either will go across very slowly and we look for micro twitches of the body because that is the subcortical brain talking directly to us. So we go across and what we look for are things like blinks, big breaths, sometimes swallows. The body can kind of like twitch a little bit in certain spots. And so each one of those spots that like a body twitch or like a blink like that is happening, that's a brain spot. That's something in the subcortical brain is being held there that is causing the issue that you're struggling with. And so in brain spotting, there's a lot of different setups that we can do. Some of them are completely guided by you and your felt sense. And for most of my clients, when they first come in, that makes them a little bit nervous. And so I support in finding the brain spot until they can kind of take over. And so when we find this spot, we just kind of hold here and we're opening a file into that lower part of the brain so that we can explore a little bit more what's being held there and what's really holding you back from embracing whatever you want to embrace. Self-care or what anxiety is being held there. And for some people that means memories will come up, emotions can surface, You can have different thoughts and feelings, and for some people it's just purely somatic. So just like different parts of your body start to hurt and they get more intense, and then they release, and then they decrease in intensity. And so we sit on that brain spot however long somebody wants to. Some of my sessions can be 45 minutes on the same brain spot, and other people like to move around a little bit, and so we process for a little while here, and then we go on to the next one and we process a little while there. And it can really be a client guided experience. That's the really cool thing that I love about brain spotting is, if this one's starting to feel overwhelming, or you're just kind of tired of it and you don't want to sit in it anymore, then we go on and we find a new one, and that's totally fine. It's really based on your needs. But a brain spot is just that point in your visual field that accesses the memories and felt sense in the lower part of the brain that are giving you trouble and that are getting in your way of, fully living, fully being authentic, fully being you. And you may have an idea of what's holding you back, which is awesome. But I promise you, once you sit there and if you remain open and curious and non-judgmental and try not to know, different memories and different thoughts and different visualizations will just pop up. And the more that we can let that process unfold, the more you can actually release and resolve deep in the subcortical brain. So I hope that was a really helpful snippet for you on what a brain spot is. And if you have any more questions, please DM me, and I can kind of put together another video to explain it a little bit more.